There are 4,218 PlayStation 2 games, and I've got to beat every single one of them. I've got to own the game because I'm playing on the original hardware, but at the end of each video, you have a chance to guess what the next game is going to be. Do you think I can do this before I die of old age? I hope so. Exactly 1 year after this channel started, Monopoly Party was beaten, game number 40. And what more can I say about Monopoly Party other than it's Monopoly, the board game? The game where everyone rolls some dice, moves around a board buying up properties, paying each other rent when someone else owns the property you land on, going to jail, using the fun little pieces, sometimes drawing cards, but ultimately bankrupting every other player in the game, most likely losing you some friendships along the way. So without further ado, let's just play some fucking Monopoly. Surprisingly enough, there's really no options to pick to play the game where there's credits, because this is just a game about board games. So going into the options, there's very few things to select, whatever. You go in, you start a new game, you get a few options to select either party or regular Monopoly. I'll go over that in just a minute. But you get to select your theme, any custom rules, and while the themes are cool, the themes seem to get in the way of the party aspect. Maybe the normal game of Monopoly is fine, but we decide to take Footbuck and fight 3 easy AI until I win 1 game, and that will be enough, as there really is nothing else to do in this game. Seriously, you play Monopoly and that's it. To start, we roll some dice and see who gets to pick their piece first, and well, I pick sci-fi for the first map I do, so I get to pick some sci-fi tokens. Although I do lose the first 3 matches. The 4th match is the one I win. When you start Monopoly Party, everyone takes a turn at the same time. That's right, you all have a turn at the same time. But this still isn't necessarily how the game works, because everyone gets a chance to go, but things like bidding and picking things, mortgaging, selling, building houses, all of those things still have to be done solo. And when you're playing with real people instead of AI, it's the same way. So the party part of this game is everyone rolls the dice at the same time, everyone moves at the same time, but that's it. Again, you still need to take the time to finish what you're doing before a turn can begin for everyone. And it's very chaotic. As you can see in the middle, there's just a lot going on, and I don't particularly like how much is going on while you're trying to pay attention to both your role and your movement and the enemy's role and movement. So, I mean, I know this game isn't super hard to play. It's not necessarily a complex game with huge mechanics. But you need to pay attention to what your opponent's doing, see how much money they have, what they just spent on what, and, to kind of keep a record of what's going on. One of my big issues with the game is that because you have to pay attention to the board at all times and everyone is moving at the same time, the board is always very small in the middle of the screen, with everything on the outsides kind of obscuring what's going on. And there are only a very few kinds of views you can have of the board, and none of them are as satisfying as you want them to be. As you can see here, you see the whole board in a very small section, and you can't really read some of the words. You have to get kind of close to the screen. It's just not helpful. And then with everyone doing things on the screen like this here, you can see that all of the squares take up all parts of the screen. Yes, you can see where a character is by looking at their little panel. Like you can see Footbuck, Steve, Jane, and Dave here. You can see when they've landed on something, and it shows that the property they've landed on just above their character. So yeah, you can get an idea, but it's not helpful. You want to see the whole goddamn board. It's just more interesting that way, especially when you're getting together to play this, because this is not one of those games you sit down and play for hours and hours on end, unless you're playing one long-ass game with your friends. I mean, there really isn't anything else to do. So it's just weird that the whole screen is obscured like this. But I mean, I guess that's just how they're going to do it, because they want you to play fast. The party version is supposed to be played quickly. And yes, it is quicker, as I play 4 games in 2 hours and the last game I win. But it's not necessarily any more fun. It's just different. So I don't really know what they were going for. Other than that, it really doesn't feel like anything else was added or changed to make this game any different than just a normal Monopoly game, except for the party part where you just take your turn at the same time. So it's Monopoly. If you like Monopoly, cool. It's a super cheap game to get, and if you have a multi-tap, you can play with up to 4 people. And Party, if you have 1 controller, you can play normal Monopoly with 1 controller between everyone, but Party, you have to have a multi-tap, because again, it's all at the same time. You all got to hit X to accept and do things, and I don't know. It's not really worth it to get the multi-tap just to play the party version when the party version is really the same. So, let's not keep this video any longer. It's fucking Monopoly. If you like it, you like it. If not, it's just a board game that's digital. So, game number 40, beaten. That's right, I beat Dave and Tom and Jane, and they can all suck it. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's right, it's time for the guessing game. What do you think Stable Diffusion is trying to tell you I am playing next? The people on the stream know. If you know it, don't say it. No, you can say it if you want. I think the picture is pretty obvious, though. I think people will see it and go, "Oh my God, it's that game! Of course, it's that game." Because look at some of the characters. They did that. Stable Diffusion did a good job. So thank you very much, Stable Diffusion. Anyway, the next game we're playing is that one, and it's a very long game. Big ol' hint. Not that you need it, but here's a big ol' hint. It's a fucking long game, and I had to take a couple breaks in between playing it. I'm still in the middle of playing it. That's how long it is. It's just a long-ass game. So thank you once again, everyone who has stayed to watch the video. It's a short-ass video, and I've been just enjoying this so much. People have been hanging out in the stream a ton. It's been a really good time. I've gotten to know a lot of fun people, and I really appreciate anyone who comes here and watches and comes to the stream. And of course, I also appreciate the people who have subbed to the Patreon. I didn't expect anyone to, but 4 people are subbed, which is wonderful. And one of the patrons got to pick the next game I'm playing after this one, and that will be coming out soon. Actually, I did a little stream on it, and I actually had something on the channel itself, a little poll. So it is actually Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, and I'm playing the HD version. I actually have a stream up on my playlist. It is it's unlisted, but the playlist isn't. So if you go back to my playlists on the channel, you can then search under the playlist for Kingdom Hearts, and you'll see the very first video. And you can kind of see that if you'd like to. If not, it'll be coming out after this next game. Thank you again for everyone and all 4 patrons here. Thank you so much. I really appreciate anyone coming here. If you want to join the Discord, we're active on the Discord. We have a good time on the Discord. Please stop in, talk with us, add some memes and some music, and eventually the channel's getting a little bigger. I'm starting to add things like I need to have a list of all the games I own, all the games I've beaten, and what times I've beaten them. I need to add some more just fun things about the challenge itself. It's been hard. Don't forget that I'm a stay-at-home dad with 2 kids, so a lot of my time is taken up by my 2 kids. I'm actually looking at my daughter right now, and she's smiling at me while I'm saying this. So thank you, everyone, once again. Just thank you so much. I will be back with another video soon. Later.